Once upon a time, in a busy African town filled with tall buildings, noisy cars, and people always rushing, there was a beautiful young woman named Chiamaka. She worked as a banker in one of the biggest banks in the city. Chiamaka was not just beautiful, she was also smart, neat, and carried herself like a queen. Many rich men wanted her hand in marriage, but she kept saying no. People whispered, "She's waiting for a man with a bigger car or a bigger house." But nobody knew her heart. Now, just in front of Chiamaka's bank, there was a young man named Ikena. He had no big car, no big house. He was poor. But every day, under the hot sun or heavy rain, he stood by his wooden table, selling hot local food, jollof rice, beans, yam porridge, and sometimes okra soup with fufu. His food had a sweet smell that would make the stomach cry for attention. Ikena always wore a smile. He would shout happily, "Hot food, sweet food, come and taste Mama's pot of gold." His joy was like a song on the street, and customers loved him. Every day, Chiamaka would pass by Ikena's stand, holding her expensive bag, walking in high heels. Ikena would greet her kindly. "Good morning, Madam Banker." She would nod politely and walk past. But deep inside her heart, something about Ikena's smile touched her. One afternoon, the sun was high and the air was hot. Chiamaka had forgotten her lunch. She stood by the office window, looking at the long queues in the bank, her stomach crying silently. Suddenly, her eyes fell on Ikena outside. She remembered the smell of his food. "I can't," she said to herself. "What will people say? A banker buying food from a roadside boy?" But hunger does not fear class. So she wore her sunglasses, walked out slowly, and went to Ikena's stand. "Give me food," she said quietly. Ikena smiled brightly. "Ah, Madam Banker, welcome. I will serve you well today." He gave her rice and plantain with peppered fish. She took it back inside, pretending like nothing happened. But her heart felt something she could not explain. The next day she came again, and the day after that, and the next. They started talking. Ikena told her stories about his late mother, who taught him how to cook, and how he was saving money to go back to school. Chiamaka listened, and for the first time she felt seen, not for her job or beauty, but for her heart. Soon, people noticed. "Look at the banker and the food seller," some mocked. "She must be helping him out of pity," others said. But they didn't know that her heart was already tied to his. One evening, Chiamaka waited till the bank closed. She walked up to Ikena, her eyes shining with emotion. "Ikena," she said softly, "I don't care what anyone says. I've found peace in your smile and joy in your words. I don't want your money. I want your heart." Ikena stood in shock. "But you are from a different world. I have nothing." She held his hand. "Love is something, kindness is something you've given me both." They stood there in silence. The traffic noise, the people walking by. Everything became quiet in that moment. Months passed. Ikenna used his savings to attend cooking school, and Shamaka supported him without pride. They later opened a small restaurant together, where bankers and street boys alike came to eat. And on a sunny Saturday morning, under the mango tree near the bank, they got married, not in a fancy hotel, but in a simple open space, with local music and dancing feet. It was the most beautiful wedding the town had ever seen. People wept, not because it was sad, but because it was real. And from that day, everyone who passed by the bank would remember the love story between the banker and the food seller. A tale of humility, love, and destiny.